Oh, okay. It's another Sunday, isn't it? What are we? 26. So 6 months. 6 months of Sunday morning coffee. Y'all sick of this shit yet? 6 months of Sunday morning coffee. I want to thank everybody that tunes in and pokes up and checks it out. We have on average 4 dozen people that check in every week to see what's going on in my little world. I'm elated and thrilled and excited and appreciative, and I still don't understand it because I live a very simple life. Let me tell you a little short story. I've recounted this tale through several of my rants and ramblings and mumblings over the months. We're at a full year now of videos posted. It only took me 4 or 5 months to figure out how you sign up for AdSense and all that stuff. Got it sorted out finally. We're moving up. Do I look to this as a revenue stream? God, no. No. So we take a step back 2 years. 2 years ago, I'm not quite the same fellow that's sitting here as far as confidence and accomplishment. I was just pretty low down on the stick at that point in time. As far as the shop goes, we're not out of the water yet. In fact, this necessitated move scares the hell out of me on a fiscal level. But we need the space. So 2 years ago, about 2 years and a month ago, okay, I moved here. I've been a hermit on this acre of land, being a professional hobbyist, fixing people's cars, restoring people's classics. We only have a handful of restorations under our belt at this point in time as Smith Welding and Restoration. Meaning, I've got a fair handful of restorations under my belt personally. I didn't want to know the outside world, didn't want to get involved with the outside world. I'd had enough at that point. I just kind of wanted to lick my wounds and hide in a hole. Seems I couldn't crawl in a hole and pull it in behind me. This was the next best thing. When I moved here, I still had certain anxiety issues. I could not go out in public without some pretty significant panic attack issues. Nothing I was ever medically treated for. I just recognized them for what they were and eased into it, My boy put the pups in the shop for now and brought me the camera so I can shoot Sunday morning coffee. That's kind of where I'm at. I've hid here with my kids. I met a pretty awesome girl. She moved in officially this summer. That's my personal existence in a nutshell. Now the shop has just starting to come into its own. You really have 2 points in any business structure. You have the point where you start to cash flow, which essentially means you have money left over, or you can float money past day-to-day expenses. And then you have the point upon which you profit. It's all up to market segment, economy, the owner's drive. There's a lot of variables involved, but let me interest you in this thought process. My little company, and it's a company now. So last week we've got an EIN, we've got our general liability and inland marine certificates on the way. The renter's insurance for the new space is the easy add-on to the insurance, so I'll wait till we get our GL and all that up and moving before I get, I just be like, hey, just throw this on there type of circumstance. I still haven't got any whisper back as far as cost goes. When I ran a service shop, when I was shopping insurance, it was anywhere from 120 to, God, I think one policy they wanted $600 a month. We won't be paying $600 a month. We can't afford that kind of blow. The thing was, it was essentially the same insurance at both costs.
I'll be at the white plastic chair, Ivy.
My son is teaching my daughter how to appropriately use a BB gun. We're working on him with his safety and marksmanship. We've all come a long ways this last couple of years here. So, now the situation is real. Over the course of September, now that it's, September, I will be going down to one of the state or federal buildings or whatever the hell it is, Secretary of State. That's who I got to get a hold of. Whatever building or office that office is in, so I can set up an LLC. Jeremy that you've seen a little bit of, he is a stakeholder, clearly, stockholder, absolutely. It's not something I'm just giving away. Jeremy came on when things were very slim and has earned relatively little to this point. And he's conscientious of what the shop's bringing in, what it's putting out, and what he's capable of earning off of that. So, he's got a 15% stake. The moment I file articles of incorporation, he will be on the board. I've selected a couple of other folks that I wish to be on the board. Basically, if you don't know about LLCs, S corps, whatever, it creates a divide. The shop's holdings are the shop's. They're the company's, the corporation's holdings. And your personal holdings are your personal holdings. And that divide is for many, many big reasons. A lot of financial reasons. And liability exposure, yada yada, things like this. It's just smart when you establish yourself as a company in this particular business climate we have today to have some manner of incorporation. That light was blinding me in the little screen readout. I can't imagine how you guys are going to feel. So now we're moving to a facility. We'll have a corporation set up. I'll have to get a little computer and a printer set up there at the shop. Something simple and cheap because I'm going to destroy it. The room we have, unless we build a mezzanine, we won't have enough room to have an office. And if we have an office, it's going to be up above stuff. I am looking into being a distributor or dealer for certain products. I won't get into that right now. For the YouTubes, I have started and shall continue pestering local and national companies for merchandise sponsorship. Why not? It's exposure for them. It's a way for us to lower some of our cost end. We'll see how it works out. now that we're officially a company and moving forward, that's going to make a big difference there as far as a plausible merchandise sponsorship. Am I whoring out? Am I selling out? Am I whatever? Okay, I might be. I don't care. It's going to allow me to do what I want, raise the shop to a profitable level more quickly, and hopefully expand and double our space yet again. If I can pass off and get paid in stuff or cash without compromising what it is I'm doing or me myself, yeah, you bet. Interesting thing within my faith and how I live my life. I can't allow myself into a compromising position that wouldn't allow the things to be more true, factual, whatever. I can't endorse something that's a pile of shit and I know it. Still, more than ever, the customer's going to get precisely what they pay for. We'd like to send out plus a notch, but we'll see, you know. So this last couple weeks has been crazy. I didn't get really anything shot last week. We got a Grand Prix in and out, just quickie, bumper covers and quarter panel repair. That's all it was, just simple, some rusty crap for a cheap car lot. Did one of your bubblegum duct tape repairs on a rocker panel, which I abhor. One day those repairs will be priced clean out of our script. For now, though, these car lot repairs pull enough water that we still got to pay attention to what's going on. That said, some marginal quality repairs, yeah, that's what they pay for. If that's what they sign on for, that's what I have to extend. I can't cut metal out, fabricate and weld new metal in, and spend a day and a half on something that pays $400. $400 means we use the lowest quality materials we can use and still give a quality finish. It means we use a lot more body filler than we would on a real repair. I've got issues with this, I do. However, I'm not cheating anybody. I'm not telling them, oh yeah, we're this and we that, and no. It's like, if you want to pay that, this is what you get. This is all you get. Customer wanted wet sand and buff and polish, and nope, you didn't pay for it. Well, what about this over here? What about... Nope, didn't pay for it. We get moved, we'll have an isolated area to paint, which will cut down on dust and debris in the paint. We'll have more lighting to paint with, better lighting, which the lighting issue is a bigger cause for my duress than specks of dust and dirt and an occasional bug. My ideal goal is to have the paint booth set up in a bay, a stall like we're moving in now, and then acquire another stall for the metal fabrication and the heavier work. That'll of course now double our overhead, so it's going to be some time in the coming for that. I don't think it's going to take 2 years though. I look to be extending that in the next year. We're moving into a tucked away industrial zone We're not going to have a big sign out front. I don't want a big sign out front. Put together a website. Smith Welding Restoration at webs.com. It's a start, okay? It's not ironed out, it's not great, it's not perfect, but and I used to be paralyzed by I want everything perfect and perfect knowledge of what's going on before I step forward, and that held me back a lot of my adult life to this point. My point in this is, doesn't matter if the move you take is right or wrong. It's far less a crime to you or your mission, as it were, than to do nothing. So I got a website out there. Kind of groovy, neat feeling. So that's where we're at. I'm going to shoot some footage of this F-150. It's pretty much ready to go. Part-timer welded up the other rocker panel, ground everything down, got everything dressed. I think I got a couple spots that I'm going to have to get at with a file, or who knows. I don't know. I got some nasty welds to take care of. I will figure out how to dress those appropriately so they're not an eyesore. We did just some basic lap welding techniques and made stuff work. I fabricated both end caps for the rocker panels because they were rotted out beyond the pieces we got. So we put on the 2 panels and I had to fabricate 4 pieces. Not a big deal, they're just some slight bends, and I tried getting all fancy and technical and using a brake and a planisher, and a block of wood and a hammer and a mallet, a big broad round punch, hand seamers to create the flanges on the bottom. Done. We got them all welded up. They look great. So my intended goal today is hang out with the kids, pack up some of the shop. There's that big ass blue cabinet I can't move with all the paint and stuff in it. We stuff that on a trailer or in a truck or anything. We're going to have huge problems. We'll have gallons of paint everywhere before we get to our new shop. So we got to unload all that into boxes and move that on. That said, the girl brought some boxes home from her work, and we'll use those to pack up stuff. And Monday looks like the big thrust. Tomorrow looks like the big thrust. So I need to get this truck out and assembled tomorrow morning. I got a buddy going to come help me. I'm going to film a lot in the process of our move, I think. He's the owner of the G20. I'm proud to call him friend, and I'm very pleased to work on his truck. Again, I apologize for not getting a lot of footage into you guys this week. It was hump and grind. That's all we did. We moved the 71 Monty out so we could fit more in this shop to get these things shoved. We got a 05 Monty that we're dealing with parts issues. I would have had my lease and everything, but there were certain goals we set out. The F-150 had to be delivered the day of or day after we signed the lease, and the 2005 Monty had to be delivered day before or day of the lease. Well, as it turns out, it's going to be reverse. I'll get the Ford done. We'll cash out on that. And then we'll finish up the Monty and send it on the road. Parts, man. I've had the worst 2 weeks for fucking parts, okay? For no reason. It's not like they're exotic cars or hard to find cars or anything else. It's just some of the odd parts that don't show up in the parts schematics, or they're improperly numbered in the parts schematics. So you get the wrong part number, you get sent the wrong part. It's just as maddening as it can fucking get. the Monte Carlo. This one was an inner fender. We needed the left, they sent us the right. New customer, and that project was nothing but a pain in the ass. Paint on the door fucked up. Paint on the hood fucked up. Paint. Operator error, probably a little bit. Cheap paint to fit the build requirements, absolutely. Here's the motherfucker. You use cheap paint, you pay for it. Okay? I wound up using almost a quart of cheap paint. I could have used a pint of the good stuff. That being said, a pint of the good stuff is twice as expensive as a pint of the shitty stuff. No, we used over a quart, and it would have taken a pint and a half of the good stuff. It would have taken half as much. RM, I love that shit. The coverage is amazing. The holdout's amazing. The final product's amazing. It fills, it lays out, it does everything you could, and more than what you could ask of from a paint. Alright guys, I'm going to get off here. Kids are out back playing. Oh gosh, it's almost 9 o'clock. I'm going to get this thing loaded up. Say hello to some of you folks on the Facebooks. Subscribe. Check out what we've got going on, ongoing. There's some big changes right now happening. I've been mumbling about it for a year. It's occurring now. We were, in a forced expansion. We weren't following every rule, I's dotted, T's crossed. Now we're going to be in a position we've got to follow. We've got to follow the rules. I like the transition. It definitely lends validity to what we're doing. I've proven to myself we can make it. The number on there, on the regular segments, not Sunday morning coffee, but the phone number, that'll be our phone number for the foreseeable future. You get a jam, you got a problem, feel free to call. People have called. Generally I answer the phone. And that's this phone here that rings. So if it's on a Sunday, I'm probably not answering. Another beauty of getting the shop away from my residence. I shut the doors, I go home. Done. Find me up on the Facebooks. Adam Niffen, Facebook.com. Easy to find. Pop in on me. Tell me you love me, hate me, death threats, love letters. I don't care. Just pop in and say hi. Thank you all for the support. Those of you that have shown support at this point. And stick around. There's a lot going on.